All right, so now we're gonna look at another example it's the exact same sort of situation, but if the courtroom thing didn't really make much sense, maybe this one will make a little bit more sense for you, okay? So let's imagine somebody's going to a doctor's office, and these are our two hypotheses, okay? Our null hypothesis is that they are not pregnant, okay? And the alternative is that they are pregnant, okay? So when they go to a doctor's office, it's always assumed that you're not pregnant until you get tests that tell us otherwise, okay? So here's our four situations. Okay, so here in the top left box, the truth is that you are not pregnant. Okay, but this doctor went back, ran a test, and then came back and was telling this guy that you are pregnant. All right, so wrong decision. Okay, so this is our, again, when we rejected, when we should not have, when we found in favor of the alternative when the null was true. This is our type 1 error. Okay. So another situation is, let's look at a correct decision. Let's look on the top right, okay? So this is where we're saying, okay, the truth is that you are pregnant, which is, again, the alternative hypothesis. And you go back and run a test, and what do we know? You are pregnant. Okay, again, alternative hypothesis. So we rejected the null in favor of the alternative when we should have. This was a correct decision. And remember, this specific situation where we reject when we should have rejected is called power. Okay, next situation, bottom left. All right, this is where, in truth, not pregnant. And the decision we make is also not pregnant. Okay, which is failing to reject when we should have failed to reject. Okay, and again, this is, again, a correct decision. And this one does not have any special terms. It's just correct. Okay, and then last up, type 2 error. Okay, this is where, okay, in truth, you are pregnant. But our decision is that we find that you are not pregnant, okay? And this is where we fail to reject when we should have rejected, okay? So in this case, the truth was the alternative was the true outcome, whereas we said that the null was true. So this is our type 2 error. Okay, and again, this is just going to be like a sort of gotta memorize it kind of thing. This is not on your formula sheet at all. You're going to have to memorize what each error means and what power means. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some specifics about the two types of errors and power. Okay, so type 1 error, this is where we reject the null incorrectly. Okay. So now if we want to find the probability of making a type 1 error, it's pretty quick. It's equal to the significance level. Okay, which means probability of making a type 1 error is our alpha. Okay. And that significance level is going to tell us which p-value is low enough. Okay. All right. So next up is type 2 error, and this is where we fail to reject the null incorrectly. Okay, and the probability of type 2 error we call beta, and we'll talk about that in like a bit. Okay, it's just a capital Greek, I think it's capital, pretty sure it's capital. All right, and then power is where we reject the null correctly. Okay, and the probability we reject the null correctly is 1 minus the probability that we reject the null incorrectly. And rejecting the null incorrectly is our type 2 error. So power is going to be equal to 1 minus beta. Okay. So now we go ahead and I'm going to stop the video here and make